How does organic and GMO food impact agriculture and health by Guisel and Natalie?
Organic agriculture effects. What we found on organic crops and agriculture was mostly a good thing. The agreement was that organic farming was good for the soil and for our environment. Organic farming systems have higher content of organic matter in soil, contribute positively to biodiversity, and have lower emissions of greenhouse gases. Organic farming uses compost soil that is a natural input rather than synthetic fertilizers that damage the soil. Crop rotation is used when growing organic which helps nourish the soil and prevents erosion. Erosion in conventional farming practices with heavy chemical inputs have caused the earth to lose one third of its farmable land within the past 100 years. Overall, organic farming has a positive effect on the earth. The practices are closer to the original ways farmers would grow crops. Organic farming prevents erosion, it's better for the soil, and has a lower emission of greenhouse gases.
GMO crops have the potential to improve sustainable farm practices. It can reduce pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizer usages. It reduces greenhouse gas emissions by using a no-till production system. However, more usage of these crops results to more land being used. Deforestation for agricultural purposes has driven over 80% of deforestation worldwide. As GMO crops become more popular, it's increased the risk of losing biodiversity in our land. If GMOs are introduced into the wild, populations might influence a fitness advantage for the hybrid species. This will lead to the engineered gene being maintained in an environment which will reduce the genetic diversity overall. Herbicide-resistant weeds have also emerged. About 38 weed species worldwide have been identified to have developed resistance to glyphosate. These weeds can infest fields and siphon nutrients from the valuable crops there.
Organic health effects. There is no clear argument on this topic. There is not enough sufficient evidence to argue that organic food is better than conventional food. But what we do know is that since the USDA organic regulations prevent organic food from having pesticides and other harmful chemicals, then we can conclude that when we eat organic, we have a lower exposure to contaminants that can be harmful to our health. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthier, but it is lower risk to eat. For example, conventionally raised cattle is treated with sex hormones to be able to produce more meat. Livestock is given antibiotics to promote growth. These can both make humans sick, but is not very common. In a study done on conventional and organic, they found that organic produce did not have did have the slight edge in food safety, with 30% lower pesticide residue than conventional foods. Overall, organic food is lower in pesticides, but conventional foods and organic foods are not nutritionally different. Therefore, eating both organic and conventional is fine and will not be any different on your nutritional health.
There are currently no clear related negative health impacts due to GMOs. In the 20 years we have been consuming GMOs, no such problems have occurred. There are, however, concerns of allergic responses to these GMOs, as well as the toxicity of GMOs in our body. When GMOs first arrived, there have been many experiments to test the effects of toxicity of GMOs. One example is an anti-GMO advocacy group called the Institute for Responsible Technology, which reported that rats fed a diet containing a GMO potato had virtually every organ system adversely affected after just 10 days of feeding. In response to that, many different types of modifications in various crops have been tested, and the results have found no evidence that GMO caused organ toxicity or other adverse health effects. On the contrary, GMOs are added minerals and vitamins to the crop to ensure health benefits.
After researching this topic further, we've concluded that there is no clear negative impacts on health, but there are concerns on how these chemicals will impact our bodies.
However, the agricultural impact of GMO in organic food has shown a positive outcome to the earth, as there are less gas emissions to the atmosphere and more sustainable farm practices.